Hey everybody! Welcome back. I wonder if I picked up that bag of gold. It was like a week ago I last played Dead Cells, so I should make sure that I have my gold. All y'all who've seen the Leprechaun say yeah. Welcome back. It's Dead Cells. It's been a while, huh? I want to check on our win rate here, because it it's 15%. It's way better than I would have expected like a couple of months ago. Dead Cells has taken a while to come back, and I'm gonna just give you the, the straight dope about that. That's what people say, right? Dead Cells, I wouldn't say it's on the chopping block, necessarily, but with hour-long episodes and, updates happening quite frequently, but also, relatively incremental progress between those updates, it's probably getting close to us, or close to the time for us to, look into doing something else. So Dead Cells was probably, like, the lowest priority coming back, which, it hurts to hear, I'm sure, if it's, like, your #1 series, but at the same time, better to be honest about the situation, I suppose. But I did want to get back to it here, because I thought there was for a couple of reasons. One is, it's not like I'm playing anything else. The other one is, I like Dead Cells. The other one is, I thought there was another, like, minor update that came out while I was away. But when people talk about Dead Cells updates, they always say, and I'm guilty of this as well, not that there's anything to be guilty of here, but they always say, the update. So I never know whether they're talking about, the Hello Darkness My Old Friend update, or, this is a new world. It's a scroll of power located in a curse chest to make curse chests more valuable. Because, I mean, this is actually just a 10 out of 10 change, if it is a change at all. Because there was no incentive to use curse chests earlier, unless... Like, what is going on here? Beware. Oh, please do not take this shortcut if you're not properly equipped. Risk of untimely death. So they've added a little golden cost there, and they're warning you, which is nice. But previously, I've been no stranger to the idea that curse chests are a terrible value proposition unless you have people in the comments yelling at you for being a baby. So if you don't have that, there's no reason why you would ever previously risk, or no good reason. No. Well, yes. I thought this was the cursed sword, actually. Previously, there was no reason to take a cursed chest, just for the chance of getting, like, loot that might fit into your overall plans. Especially once you got a little further into the game. To start with, it wasn't that bad, because, as long as you get one piece of equipment, you're going to be able to use it. Because you don't have anything else, right? But, if you don't, or if you do have some equipment, and you're looking for something that has to replace your existing equipment, the value proposition behind going to those curse chests was pretty low. But if they have a chance even to give you a scroll, then that's a pretty big milestone. I will definitely, take advantage, not that we weren't anyway, but I'll take advantage of that on every available opportunity. Gotta be careful about those. Curse lifted, we're good to go. Where are we gonna go in these ones? Could you rephrase that as if you were Axl Rose from the Sweet Child of Mine era lineup of Guns N' Roses, please? That would be, where should we go now? Well, what we should probably do is skip the ossuary. This is kind of like, I'm rusty in every series when I first come back, but we should acknowledge the fact that we're probably not going to be ossuary bound here. You know what would make Dead Cells admittedly... I mean, again, I want to mention that when I talk about, like, balance patches, the designers almost... I hate this style of argument, but they almost by definition know what they're doing better than I do. They know the game. They may or may not be... I can't remember if this is one of those games that's like, we anonymously collect data in the background to help us with balancing issues. But even if they're not, they get way more feedback than I do. And from people who play the game in different styles than I do. So, I mean... Go for skills, I guess. Ooh, I do like Swarm of Biters, though. Should have looked at that first, because plus 100% damage on a burning target seems awesome, but we can roll with this for now. But what if they made it so there was way less, well, not way less chance. What if they made it so there were less guaranteed scrolls per floor. And instead, some of those guaranteed scrolls were now locked behind, like, curse chests. So if you wanted to have a temporarily more difficult go of things, you could do so to make your run in the future easier. I don't know. It seems like a half-baked idea now that I've, like, rubber duck debugged it. But anyway, let's keep moving here. This should be sewers, and we will just go to the sewers. I don't know how many updates or how many videos I did since the Hello Darkness My Old Friend update, but I do really, really like the new cost to things. The fact that you can't just endlessly stack up money, I think, is a huge positive change. And you actually have to, at least to some extent, be sensible about the decision-making process. We do need, in the future of Dead Cells at some point, to get to that new area again, and then also defeat it, which we have not even come close to accomplishing yet. But for now, this is just a run to get me back in the saddle again, basically. And it's a pretty good setup right now. I think we've got a decent weapon. Our skills are bad, and our skill stat is good, which is the main kind of weirdness with this run right now, is that we kind of invested in a stat that doesn't give us much benefit at the present moment, but the idea is that it might in the future. And plus we know that this is like, skills in my opinion is like the most reliable way for us to advance easily here in Dead Cells. By the way, the tip that I gave Bear, and I recognize 1 minute 48 seconds, that for me to be given tips is a little rich, but you know, it's just, I'll be the first to point out that I embrace the NL's bad at video games meme. And, you know, nothing will keep you more humble than having people watch, like, everything you do. 'Cause, you know, they have an honest appraisal of your skills, but I actually am not, like, that bad at video games. I'm not an esports level athlete for sure, but, you know, I tend to be, like, probably, as far as the NLSS crew goes, and this is a meaningless thing to be proud of, but I tend to be, like, middle of the pack, maybe slightly higher, you know? Go watch some Tournaments of Shame. Go watch some London 2012. If everybody's bad, and I'm just better than the badness, I'm still okay with that. I'll be the second best team in the AHL. That doesn't bother me. You know, Utica Comets, 2015, 2016. That was 2014. Look, nobody here watches the AHL. We can let that slightly incorrect statement go here. Obviously, I'm not going to say I'm the best team in the AHL. I mean, have you seen Austin? Austin's like, he's the, you know, 22-year-old prospect who's going to get a shot at the big show. I'm the, you know, 35-year-old veteran who's like, I've accepted I'm just going to be an AHL player until I retire, and that's okay. Dude, just me or more scrolls for purchase? Either way, I'm going, like, buck wild over these. But anyway, I mean, I don't care about shields, mostly. Although Swarm of Biters might be okay. We already have Swarm of Biters. Can we get doubled Swarm of Biters? I don't believe so. The tip I gave Bear was very simple, and it's something that I think has worked out very well for me in Dead Cells. And that's, if your first upgrade... Well, it should even just rephrase this here a little bit. I think we should go for this. The first upgrade you have a choice to get should be HP, unless unless at some point you've gotten an HP scroll instead. There's a better way to distill that. Toxic Cloud I do not really like, but it does give us a skill that we can use. I don't even like the horizontal turret that much, to be honest with you. It's Rampart's exit. But yeah, so basically the rule of thumb that I have is, if your HP's level 1, the first level of whatever you get a choice to put it into should go into HP. Because there is, the way you die in Dead Cells, in case it's the first episode you're watching, is you're not paying attention and you get like 2-shot by an enemy. Sometimes even 1-shot by an enemy, depending on the enemy. We got some oil synergies here too. It's not great, but it's okay. It's good enough, at least. So yeah, I think it's relatively important to get that HP up before anything else. Even if I think that... I try to play it like Isaac, where like I don't have respect for HP, but you gotta have a little bit of HP. You gotta make yourself Cain instead of Judas. And then you can experiment a little bit more with skills or strength. I do want to try some more strength-focused builds, but... Seen it all? Seen it all. So that's my tip. If you're having trouble with the new Dead Cells update, in which there's no shame, I also have had trouble with the new Dead Cells update, in case you haven't seen, then the secret that I can grant you is, don't be afraid to take a little bit of HP at least. Dude, Death Orb is so good. It also gives us biters. Been a lot of biter synergies. If I was a less... Wow. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna heal up. If I was a less statistically minded man, I would be like, well, there sure are a lot of biter synergies in this patch. Let's heal up again. There's no reason to risk this. It might seem bad right now, and it admittedly is not great, but... The problem that I'm having right now is they nerfed rolling. Obviously, it's still great. You just can't quite do it as frequently as you used to be able to. So you can't just roll spam. Which was kind of like my #1 game plan. Those elite enemies are a problem, too. That was not handled properly, I think it's fair to say. Either way, come back in here. 30% extra damage on a bleeding target. Why not? I mean, we don't care about the whip too much either way. We're pretty lucky in that we found the exits, but I'll be the first to admit that was a super botched encounter right there. So this is Sewers level 2. We could go to the ossuary instead. So I wonder, almost... I do recognize there was a rune back there as well that we could use, but... kind of a second level priority right now. I wonder if this is their way of getting around the common criticism I've heard of Dead Cells, at least from streamers, and we got different priorities, admittedly, than the average player, I suppose, but I think to some extent it holds true regardless. I wonder if this is their way of getting around the common criticism that runs are too long, is that they'll make shortcuts that you can pay for and kind of go to at your own risk. We're done with the floor. So, I mean, there's no reason not to do the rune. I'm pessimistic, but I think we should go for it. And we're going to do the sewers again. Again, we'll try that ossuary stuff on the next run. This is all about getting... You know, you're basically watching a practice right now. Yo, this... My skills are not doing the damage I need them to do to have us get through this quickly enough. Oh, he's dead, thank God. So I had to be a little bit more hands-on here. That was almost really bad. He's still good, he's still good. Dude, Toxic Cloud... Not sure if I'm going to go over the top and say that it's like a 10 out of 10, but really good at wave clearing. Okay, great job. That was close. Come on, we gotta be getting close, right? No! 39 seconds, we still got a chance. No, we don't have a chance. We did it. Scroll? No scroll, but a fire grenade. I do like fire grenades, so I'm gonna take that over the item that probably allowed us to beat this rune in the first place. Dude, I gotta be honest. Except for that elite enemy, we're doing pretty well on this run. To some extent, I'm a little bit proud of myself for coming back and not immediately falling into bad habits. Kerbal Space Program. But in my defense, when it says to test an engine over, you know, 310,000 meters into the sky, I didn't realize, in no tutorial does it ever say right-click on the component and click test. I assume you just use it. The same way you'd be like, hey, you know, we're gonna test your chest, Loveless. Can't stand the heat, then get out the Wild Wild West. You don't right-click on Loveless's chest. Classic NL deflecting with humor here. Going down to the sewers again, in case you couldn't tell. I mean, we got decent equipment here. Level 4s and everything, except our whip is level 3, and we're never gonna use it anyway. But we're trying not to use it anyway. Maybe we should have gone Toxic Cloud Fire Grenade, but I was gonna say it's a bad habit, but it's actually like a great habit. To err on the side of taking skills that have really low cooldowns naturally seems to be working out like fantastically. So Death Orb is an exception. The raw damage from Death Orb makes sense though, given the circumstances. See, like, how can you say no to left trigger destroy enemies instantly, right trigger destroy bosses at an accelerated pace? I don't know how you say no to that. Why can't I quit you? How do we, oh, that's how. Force shield. I mean, there's probably a case to be made for force shield, but again, they've said that shields are going to be completely changed in a future update, that they're still kind of just like works in progress. So I'm inclined to kind of let them figure it out. It's a problem because how do you do shields properly in a game? It's the XCOM 2 problem, as I've mentioned by name. Vanilla XCOM 2 offense was so good that, you know, you're like, well, you can take something that allows you to fire, you know, 20 rockets into your alien's face as soon as you see them and they'll all die. Or you can take something that gives you like +2 extra armor. And you're like, I don't need extra armor because of the whole rocket situation. Now, I mean, I'm talking a big game for somebody who beat XCOM 2 once on the classic difficulty, which is one level above normal, I do want to suggest. But still, you know, I think that a lot of people had that criticism. Or at least that observation. To call it a criticism is not necessarily fair, because one of the complaints about Enemy Unknown is that you hide behind trees, hunker down like all day, every day, and then, you know, trade 30% shots with the enemy, and, well, you know, you put yourself in a position where you get 30% and they get 5%, and then just, you know, skip turn over and over, or hunker down over and over. Wow, it worked. So we're at 324, obviously not even close to, like, endgame level stats, which is fine. I will always pay to get a scroll. It doesn't matter what the scroll is. At least for now. Economically, it doesn't make sense for me to skip scrolls. Perhaps one day, but not today. I'm just trying to remember, because it has been a little while here. There were days when I played like 8 Dead Cells runs in a single day for YouTube, and then it was like, I understand where I'm going 100%. Here I'm like, the next step is the incomplete one. Incomplete one should be totally fine. If the incomplete one ends up being a botch, we could find ourselves in times of trouble. Yeah, you want the rune. I remember. Please don't kill me instantly. That would be embarrassing. We've given him the middle finger. I don't know what we do with this rune. We gotta find a rune to give him. Which I'm assuming is kind of like a key. So that must be like the Black Bridge situation right there. Alright. I am definitely not leaving this floor. That's like walking out of the car dealership with a handshake deal. You know, we don't have any leverage here. We need way more scrolls. Or at least like to come across an item room. I maintain that those guys should be burning to death right now, but I think we paused the physics engine during our endeavor there. We actually have a surprisingly well-balanced run, but it should be called an ill-balanced run because we don't want it to be balanced. Wow! Did you see? That was like a... I was so ready to go off on a tangent about how, like, oh, I wonder if we can get two, ooh, jeez. I wonder if we can get two, runes beaten on this one. Bad call, apparently. But that was one heck of a Hakeem Olajuwon play here. Okay, spiked boots. Damage dealt times 4, damage received times 2. That makes sense. Because now, one thing I had brought up as a complaint that mathematically made no sense to me is, why would you ever go for a damage dealt times 2 and receive times 2 when you could just get weapons that give you plus 100% damage against enemies that are afflicted with a certain status effect? So now, giving you 4 times damage, 2 times damage received, for lack of a better term, we'll just say 4 times your damage with half the defense, is much more sensible balance, in my opinion. And it actually rewards you more appropriately for taking those higher risk items, I would say. Now, the other thing is that now makes me think that if you can get the 4x damage on like a bow, there's something to be said about taking that. The problem with bows is that on an absolute level, the damage dealt is just bad. So to be able to have a bow that maybe approaches the damage from a sword, but you can do it from afar, actually seems like an interesting archetype for a strength build, but I don't know if we're gonna get the chance for that. We'll see. That wasn't me being mad, I just have a very resonant desk. So if I go like, it sounds like somebody's knocking on the door. Let's... Okay, so we're killing this run. We are now probably over-equipped. Firebrand. Do we have anything with fire synergy? Not yet, but I do like... I know we have fire grenade, but the whip is not, in my opinion, very good. So if we ever want to get rid of this fire grenade but still give ourselves the chance of fire synergy, this is a nice enabler. Spiteful sword. Extra damage on a frozen target. What's the damage like here? Does better damage, but it's much harder to get a crit, I think. No. My mistake there. I'm used to using the Nintendo controller where it's the select and cancel buttons are in different places. Just take a teleporter, dude. Still a little bit of exploration. I also still think, and I don't know, feel free to tune out, you've heard this a lot at this point. The main problem with Dead Cells right now from an evergreen standpoint, the standpoint of, you know, do you want to play this game for 2,000 hours, is, oh, there's like nothing over here, it's too solvable. There's predictable elements on each floor, and these elements, once you have a strategy that works for them, you actually, like, I'm not going to say you can't lose, because obviously I've still lost, but you kind of have to add in your own difficulty. I'm going to do this, but I'm going to wait till the end. We're better equipped than we were last time. See, this looks like the door that the other prisoner's in. I don't think it has anything to do with it. It might just be like a reused asset, but still. Oh, dude, please. So we're going to take another scroll. This one goes straight into HP. Oh, I do like the crossbow. Knife Storm giving you health is, like, tempting. But this one giving you skills, and also it does so much damage, it's kind of tempting. I think I might go with this for now, because our Firebrand effectively does not do anything for us at the present point in time. We're just using it as a fire enabler that is in redundancy. So I actually think we should heal up, even though it's minor, because we're done with this floor. Just go for it immediately here. And that's why I was excited about this heavy crossbow, because it does have, like, unparalleled damage output. We didn't get too much out of it, but we spent a lot of money on this floor, and we got our money back. Come on, looking for the money. Come on, let me get some money back. It's an old man at a deli counter. $3.50 for this soup. When I was a wee lad on the south side, that soup was 8 cents, and you'd pay us to eat it. Sir, please, how many times have I told you we filed restraining order against you and your very short-sighted economic arguments that are ignorant of the principles of inflation. Alright, this guy's dusted. Why does it look like the heavy crossbow no longer has ammunition, and instead it has just a solid green bar indicating its cooldown? Does that mean we can use this over and over again on a boss? In which case I would be like the happiest camper. Dude. It's pretty good. I don't know, that might still be ammo, it's just because it has so much of it, it looks like it's solid. So that should be his last invincibility there, which I say every single time. Being a little greedy, going for the heavy crossbow shots all the time, but the reason I say it doesn't look like a recharge, like a charge bar basically, is because it charges like discreetly. Yeah, like the arrows come back to you. It's not just like it's a constantly increasing meter until it hits the maximum. You know what I mean? So far, it's a slightly different run, in the sense that, well, I mean, we're using heavy crossbow, that's about it. I do think that there's almost like a freeze synergy that's 10 out of 10 here. We don't have fire synergy yet, but we do have the enabler for it. But if we can freeze an enemy, hit him with a heavy crossbow shot and a death orb, like, they're dusted. Now, the problem is that the best freeze, in my opinion, is, gonna take the spot of our heavy crossbow, unless we really want to get up with some funky stuff, like primary shot, crossbow, secondary being the Arctic Blast. I'd have to consider that. I'm not 100% convinced yet. Alright, so things are getting mighty expensive. I will still always pay for these. These are the enablers that give you the win. So I will always pay for these. Extra damage on a frozen target. Extra damage on a burning target. Tempting. Very tempting, in fact. But the death orb is also, like, still really good. And at this point, I think I do have to mildly consider the financial cost, which again, I think is a huge positive. I don't know how people feel about this in general, but honestly, the fact that you can't just buy everything, I think is a very good change for the game. He, like, did the stanky leg on me for a second there. I was unable to kill him before he could attack. So I wouldn't go so far as to say... Wow, that was awful. Wouldn't go so far as to say we need a higher strength stat. Like, 4 is pretty okay for our present state and time, I'd suggest. But what I would suggest, and I keep saying suggest over and over, is someone saying suggest? I'm not paying for this. Are you out of your mind? I never seen a ceiling turret do nothing. Oh, so you have seen a ceiling turret do something? Oh, no. That was a complicated situation going on in here. Interesting. Interesting. I think that's a new piece of architecture. Heal up here. Okay. So our skills are crushing it. We should have let him live just so we could catch that, but we're doing well in the skills department. We just have a long cooldown on the death orb, so we can't spam it that much. It's almost tempting to pop, but this is a 11.6 second cooldown. Even death orb is only like 8 seconds. Like, this is the definition of what we should not be doing, I think. Is fighting these guys without our stuff off cooldown. Using one heal, by the way, at this point, is not the kiss of death. As long as you don't, like, double down on the things that have been screwing you, I think you're totally fine. And again, you know, there's the value of the death orb. That's why I was very hesitant to consider taking the damage booster, is because this thing is like a menace in the exact right situations. Yeah, I might sound like the lady's protesting too much, but I genuinely do think it has saved Dead Cells to some extent that you can't just take absolutely everything that shows up. I mean, sometimes you're going to be forced into making a decision about possibly taking a worse item, or sticking with a worst item, to make your next run a little better. It's got like a permanent greed machine dynamic thing going on. It's actually pretty well handled. Still waiting on a few more scrolls if possible. I mean, what do we normally want to be like 7x7 or 77x. 77x. Benny and the Jets is just like the most easily parodied song from a YouTube standpoint you could ever imagine, apparently. We got another door up there, but that door looked to me to be the entrance. Oh, okay, fine, I'll do it. This might kill us, but you gotta give it a shot. Yeah, no kidding. I eagerly await the day where... Excuse me. UI's hard, I'm not mad, but... I say that as if I know what I'm talking about, but... Having made 2 UIs in my life, UI is hard. It is. It's hard in a different way, at least. So I don't know what people like. Ah, man. So here's the way you handle this situation. Go like that, and you run away. The scroll is worth it. As far as I'm concerned, I will do late game cursed chests. As long as there's going to be a scroll in them. If I think our run stinks, I'll be less likely to do it, obviously. But if our run is, like, decent, and it looks like we'll have a good chance to survive it, I would love to have the opportunity to do late-game curse chests to get skills upgrades. That's, like, a no-brainer for me, at least. Very, very positive change. I'm not suggesting I came up with it, by the way. But I think this is kind of like a, you know, great minds think alike sort of situation where I believe I was like, there's no point to do curse chests. And then someone at the studio must have been like, there's no point to doing curse chests. You just, oh good, I got an electric whip the same level as my existing electric whip. It's not worth it, dude. So everything is for sale. We got some more HP. We're at level 6 there. Bear trap is not really worth it at all. It's a long fjord, wouldn't you say? Feels like a long fjord anyway. Oh, there's another timed door there as well. Thanks. What's the timing on this one? 16 minutes? It was sealed 16 minutes ago? So that's, you basically gotta have the ossuary in order to get, or take the first ossuary shortcut to get there. I like it. Interesting change. Again, give some incentive, which is really all we've been asking for. And by we, I mean me. Am I losing it? Did we not go through? Yeah, okay, one sec. I think I went to the wrong door here. We've only used 2 heals, so we're actually still totally fine in that department. Yeah, this is where we want to be. We're totally fine in the healing department. Especially because I always act like we have 2/3 of the run done by the time we get to this point. Or 2/3 of the floor done by the time we get to this point. Which actually probably is roughly 2/3 of the run, if we're being honest. Love you too, have fun. What I would love to see more from Dead Cells, I love that they're deepening the content. And in the end, you know, version 1.0 is going to come out at some point. You know, not necessarily some point soon, but it's going to come out at some point, and we're going to look back on this, like, early access period as, like, not necessarily being indicative of where the whole game was going. But, excuse me? Kind of dicey getting spit out here. I would love to have longer content in the game so you could do, like, a quote-unquote full run. And then have it widened. They're going for the widening right now, at least is my layman's perspective of what's going on. Wow, Death Orb, dude. Which is also fine. You know, you get these interesting mysteries at the start of the game, but with the knowledge that once we get to the Watcher, it's all for naught anyway, right? Cool. A shortcut from the bottom to the top. Meaning you actually don't have to clear out the entire bottom of the level before you go to the top anymore. Now you can actually go back and forth between them more easily. Hey, developers, that gets a thumbs up, okay? That was a really good idea. Because I will say, it felt a little artificial that the way that you always tackled this floor was cleaning out the basement, then going up, and if you ever fell down again, you know, you gotta find the exact right door that you went through the first time. So in today's modern Dead Cells economy, 3,800 gold is not a lot. However, to get me to pay 3,800 gold for the privilege of taking a look at some firebrands, I don't know if that's gonna happen. One enemy left there, I do not care. We're still not quite in, you know, like, laugh it up, we're gonna win for sure territory. I think we're a reasonable distance to it, and by that I mean, I think we're reasonably close. Bare minimum, over the next 2 floors, well, 1 floor, I guess, 1.5, because there's still a little bit of this one left. We need, I would like to have 2 scrolls, 1 for skills and 1 for HP. Anything in strength is fine, but secondary. And I think, to be honest with you, we're very agile in the sense that we could totally rework our skill build. I have an attachment to Death Orb, but it's relatively low ordnance. You know, it's like a Death Orb level 4 or something. It might be Death Orb 5. Tonic. Still makes almost no sense to me. It's Death Orb 4, yeah. And the fire grenade is good. It's spammable. Those are both very important things to me. However, more important is how they synergize with our other equipment. Most of the time, that's been the approach I've taken, at least. So I think if we have to rock this for the rest of the game, it's actually not a problem. I don't think we're in a bad position at all. But I would love the scrolls, for one. And the second thing is, I think we're in kind of an unprecedented situation. We're done with this floor. Not really a good map check, but you get the idea. We're in kind of an unprecedented situation in the sense that we could completely rework our whole run. Like, there is a conceivable situation in which we get rid of every single piece of equipment we have right now to improve our chances of winning, so if we have to stick with everything that we got, I think we got a fairly okay chance against the Watcher. If we have to, or if we have the opportunity to get rid of some stuff, though, I'm in. Like, I don't really feel comfortable using the heavy crossbow without a stun or a freeze, because, well, because of the semi-obvious thing where it takes 1,000,000 years for the animation to go. Okay, so you guys just get over there. I don't expect this to be an easy floor. The stun is also, like, assuming we can avoid... Oh, hello. Assuming we can avoid a degree of, like, elemental resistance on the Watcher. The stun would also be amazing there. Part of me wonders if maybe the roll was nerfed a little bit so that the shields actually have more of a use. Because now I'm like, you can't just spam 2 rolls if you die or if you botch the first one. What do we get? It's a infantry bow. Extra damage on a poisoned target. Critical blow at close range. Ooh, okay. I think that, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think that rock kind of looks hideous with the arrow pointing backwards on it. I respect that it does get more of the message across. It says you're going back. Maybe there were players who had never tried to touch the rock because they thought it was, like, scary or something. But hopefully that's, well, not that it's a big deal, but that feels like a work in progress icon to me. Because UGLY ain't got no alibi. It's a little unoptimized. Well, not unoptimized, but... Don't even try it, buddy. Don't even flip and try it. That's what you gotta watch out for right there. And honestly, I'm enjoying, like, the privilege of this run right now. And this run really is a privilege, because I didn't have to go to the, you know, dead money area of Fallout New Vegas. We'll do that on our next run and punish ourselves thusly. By the way, I should point out, we're still getting up to speed over here at NLHQ, and I've got, you know, I got a busy week ahead of me. I'm not gonna belabor the point, but, you know, I've got some important business to attend to, including a final exam in the next 6 or 7 days, so, you know, there's stuff on the go. I just think the torch has never been useful for me. So Dead Cells might not be back to, like, every day. And if it is, it might not be back to every day for a while, but it is, like, in the pipe, 5x5. You know, you knock out that Isaac run every day, you're like, oh, it's good, I got my voice warmed up for the commentary. And maybe do some Kerbal Space Program when you're warmed up so your, you know, your mind is somewhat a little bit more engaged, although that might surprise you coming from yours truly. Sometimes you gotta throw an NLSS in there as well. Then it's the Dead Cells times. Dead Cells is like the nightcap experience for me right now. It's a little bit longer, a little bit more slow-paced. A little bit less... Well, it's not a slow-paced game necessarily, but the rate of progress is slower. I don't know what hit me there to take off so much HP so quickly. We are going to have to... Well, we are going to be incentivized to use a heal here. We got to be getting relatively close to the end of the first phase of this floor. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. NL, you haven't gotten any scrolls yet. Rest assured, I'm thinking the same thing myself. Where are the scrolls at? Could we beat the Watcher with 6 HP? I'm gonna go 6 HP and 6 skills. I'm gonna go ahead and say probably. But I'd really rather not have to. We know there's gonna be some scrolls on this level. The only question is where they're gonna be. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Gotta be careful. You could have drowned in that level of water. All right. No, I mean, it's actually, I would describe this as a tough decision. Because the throwing knives are going to be able to inflict a ton of bleed. But without the extra level of skills, our skills are going to be pretty bad. I mean, they'd be 6. I forgot. Why was I under the impression that we had 6 levels of skills? We actually have 7 right now. With the equipment, at least. We should take, like, a more proactive approach to these guys, and, like, as soon as they spawn, hit him with the crossbow. Anyway, still good. One heal down. Can't open this. There is a door there, though, that might actually open. I'm starting to wonder, like, there's been some stuff added since the last time I played. I'm thinking maybe there might be... It's, like, basically the same distance. Maybe there might be something after the Watcher at this point. I wouldn't necessarily say, you know, get your hopes... Oh, I'm an idiot. Wouldn't necessarily say get your hopes up, but... Like, I think there's some operator error right now. There's almost no reason, especially, at least on a stun, there's no reason not to throw out a heavy crossbow shot, you know? Use what you got. Bad. Worse, so much worse. We recovered a little bit, but we do still have the respawn, so I'm trying to be a little less anxious about our heals. Damage booster does give us a little extra health, but at this point, I don't want to. I don't want to throw anything away there. Heal up a little bit. I don't want to throw any of our skills. Oh, I don't want to throw our skills away for the damage booster at least. So we have a kebab. Get that back when we need it, because we are. This is the end of this level at this point. Probably like 50% left, but we're closing in on the end at least. I don't mind getting hit by the hooks. It's when you get hit by the hooks and then something else right after that you find yourself in trouble. Like, that can almost one-hit you from 5 HP at least. Don't do that. It's a bad habit. Jumping willy-nilly onto spikes, potentially. Okay. Starting to get a little anxious here. I wouldn't have thought it possible... Well, plausible, to not get scrolls. I messed up the death orb, something fierce there. But we still made it. Okay, we're in kebab territory. We do still have our respawn, so don't sweat it. Oh, no! Don't sweat it too much. This is a heal situation. Now we're out of heals. We did that to ourselves, but it still hurts. Please, a scroll. I beg you. Nah, it's not good enough. Like, it's okay, but damage dealt ×2, damage received ×2 is very dangerous. Because we're barely going to be using our swords, so we're not going to get too much value out of the damage dealt ×2. We're going to get a lot of punishment out of the damage received ×2. Wow, okay. Kinda thinking we're in bum rush to the end of the game territory. We would like to keep this respawn alive for eventual Watcher fight. It's like an accidental German swear word or something. Okay, you're right next to a teleporter. So there's the exit. You have to go back. Dude, there's gotta be scrolls here that I'm missing. It just doesn't make sense for us to be so scrollless. I know there's a lot of the floor that we've, I wouldn't say ignored, but just have not found the opportunity to go to, so. Well, it's actually not a lot, but there's some. And we're at 70,000 gold, so at this point, if we find better equipment, buy it, dude. Just be on the wary side. As in, be wary, wary, afraid. Because things could very, very easily go wrong for us here? Dude, even... Yeah, okay. Even the crossbow is like... Oh, that was so bad. Even the crossbow is not doing that much damage now. I mean, you'd expect so. We haven't gotten a strength upgrade since, like, the Sewers level 1, so... Or Sewers level 2, at least, so... It's not a huge surprise. There we go. But you know, I'm looking at this and going, like, where's the upgrades? Is this what I get for starting this run, thinking that it's gonna be, like, easy? I dispute that I got hit there. I'm just gonna say it. Hollywood accounting. Gotta play it like a stealth game now. Dude, I forgot I had not seen a slasher over the course of this entire match here. Okay, a strength upgrade, it might seem like it's not much, and you would be correct, but... You gotta watch out for the slashers, dude. They can teleport. This is, it's a harrowing experience. Yep, that's actually, like, really bad. And that's the end of this floor anyway, so we have to go... That's the end of that area, at least. Just play it slow here. I have the utmost faith we can finish this floor. We won't have our respawn ready for the Watcher. But I think that that is actually completely okay. If we get the, like, what I would consider to be requisite improvements from going through the rest of this floor. Basically, if there's another shop, I'll consider this to have been worth it. Or a free item would also be, of course, fine. This has gotten very tense here up at the end of this Dead Cells run. Part of it is because we're understated, and admittedly that might be a byproduct of us having skipped the ossuary path, which is the critical path for getting the maximum number of upgrades, but... What else we got? Just a bunch of pots. I'm just choosing not to think about the fact that we have to go back down that way, possibly. Oh, it's a shop. Okay. Oh, we will take a level of HP, please. And then that gives us a level of skills, which is also handled as exists by our crossbow. So I'm going to stick with the crossbow for now. Enemies burn when they die. Damage taken reduced by 15%. It's so expensive that it probably, even though we should purchase it, it's going to leave us in a fiscally irresponsible place for the next run, I think, so... I think we just gotta go. And I think that, honestly, the loss of the respawn there was actually completely fine. I would have preferred to have had it, because it basically is like another heal here. But we did get to 7 and 7. 7x7. Surely there were ways for this to have not been as dicey as it was, but that's okay. We've made it back to the Watcher here. I don't think we got a, like, I don't think we got like a 75% chance to win, but we might have a 60% chance to win, depending on how I handle this here. We don't have elemental synergies, and we're using a lot of equipment that we've had for, like, you know, 4 floors. Plus, this guy, we can't get crits on him. But fire grenade, death orb, it's still gonna do damage. Yeah, shouldn't have handled it that way, I'll tell you that much. And we know what to do against these guys. Never shoot the crossbow. As far as I'm concerned, I should just tape over my Y button for this fight. Something's going here. Okay. Easy money, but the first phase is always easy money. You gotta hit him. Bad roll, bad roll. Heal up, heal up. He's gonna go for like the green attack maybe. And you got some safety here. Honestly, the fire grenade is just like an actual 10 out of 10 skill. Oh, also Assassin's Dagger, I had forgotten, lets you just hover in the air. Doing a decent job here. So that, you know, we want to watch out for this dude. Okay, getting too greedy. Very common me thing. Stand over here, get him in the death orb. Nice. Our skills are so much better than our, that was pretty bad. Than our strength. There's really no reason to not spam this stuff, especially there. Come on, dude. This is like amateur hour. I was trying to keep my cooldowns active for like this right here, but that's really, really minor yet. That struck me as being pretty sick. Let's go. That's a big moment. Got him about half dead. I would say we are also about half dead. So it's a good combination for us to find ourselves in right here. But the tentacles only get harder from this point onwards. I think it's new, like the supports for the chains seems new. It's kind of a nice touch for immersion's sake. So you'll forgive me, I hope, but I'm just trying to pay attention here so we know, yeah, where the tentacle's coming from when it comes from the side, because that's the real killer right there. Nice. Good eye. This is the important one. One last tentacle, and then we might get the easy win here, actually. After he dies, you gotta heal. Clutch heal, still two heals left. Dude, I think we got this. The Death Orb has a deceptive hitbox, too. Like, it looks like it's not hitting, but it's hit. Pretty bad combo on my part there. Still recovered some of our losses. Wow! Wow! Wow. I'm not mad. I'm actually happy that we lost this Dead Cells run. That was, like, looking pretty solid for the most part. But we just got triple shotted as soon as we hit the ground. Fun run, though. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time.